All right, everyone. So there is one more day before the release of my mystery novel, Curve for Death, on August 1st. Before I start, just in case there's anybody watching this who has no idea who I am, my name is Daniel Poppie. I am an author from southeastern Wisconsin. You can check out more about me at my website, danielpoppy.com. If you want to make sure you know when the book is going to be released exactly, I'm going to be sending stuff out via email. And if you want to make sure you catch that, you can sign up for my newsletter, danielpoppy.com/newsletter. So the release is coming up one more day. I say it's one more day. I know there's one more day and then there's August 1st, but one more day for me. I'm actually really excited. I've gotten some feedback from people who are also really excited, so that's really cool. Thanks for reaching out. Thanks for answering questions, asking questions, etc. It's kind of crazy because I started this book a month ago and I didn't think I was going to be getting it done on time. I was a little worried about that, and I was a little worried about the logistics of writing and publishing a book in a single month, but it is happening and it's going really well. I'm surprised by the results. I'm happy by the results. It's not a bad type of surprise. So for the sake of the people who did not see the last two videos I put out during this past week, I'm just going to recap a couple of things just so you know what is going on if this is the first one you are tuning into. So I'm writing in the next 6 months, I'm going to be putting out 6 books that are all part of a series. It is a small mystery series following the same character. And it is a darker type of mystery series. It is a detective noir / gothic horror type thing. If you think Frankenstein, if you think the Maltese Falcon, that's kind of the genre I'm fitting into. And the reason why I'm writing it is because I like getting into a world that isn't my own, and this allows other people to do that as well. So yeah, so I've got a book that's dark and mysterious, and it is hopefully something that people read and they're like, oh, this is intriguing, I want to read more. Or they're like, oh, what's that? What's this? And part of the reason why I'm writing specifically a mystery story is because mystery stories are dark around the edges. And I just like that. I like the idea that I'm not going to uncover all the mysteries of the world, and there's always more to dive into. And I know a lot of different authors and people who are creating stories do that as well. And I just like it a lot, and that's one of the reasons I'm doing it. So right now, I'm going to actually be going over some of the answers to the questions that I got from last week. So I had a survey of people from last week, and what I'm going to do with this is I'm just going through the reasons people read fiction. I'm not going to go through the whole entire survey. What I'll do is it'll take me some time, but I'm going to actually put that into a document, and I'm going to, if you want to see what that document is, or you want to see why people are reading fiction, you can sign up for my newsletter and you'll get an email with that document in some format. You can check out all the questions and how people answered those questions, and I'll put it together in a way that is pleasing. I'll put it together in a way that's really easy to read. So check that out. Sign up for my newsletter. If you sign up for my newsletter right after this video and you don't get that, it's because I haven't put it together, but I will be sending it out. So right now, I'm just going to be reading some of the reasons why people read fiction, and it's really interesting. So I'm going to start with the ones that weren't as popular, I guess. So I got a few answers, like the development of the world and the stories, all right, which might fit into another grouping I had, but I just put it by itself. Relaxation, understanding history was one of them. People like to read something thought-provoking, get to know new characters, moral instruction through the storytelling, character study. So those are some of the other reasons why people read the books. And then I clumped all the other answers into 2 groups. One of the groups was a different experience / adventure type thing, and I thought they all fit together, and I'll kind of go over the wording that people used. And the other one was escapism. And people used escapism again and again and again. And I think it's just a cliche way of saying, I just like to get away from the world. And it's an easy way and it works, so I don't really mind that. So for escapism, I saw escapism pop up 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. I saw escapism pop up in the questions 13 times, which I thought was quite a bit. It ranked toward the top. And then the other reason why people gave was more toward this adventure type of thing. What I was talking about with why I read books, it's to have a different experience. It's like traveling from your bed. It's you get to go into a different world that's completely different than your own, and it's not necessarily fun all the time, but it is a new experience. So these are the words people used for that. So they're immersed in a new world. They're in another story. It sucks you in. You get lost in a good story. I have to actually make this bigger. Immersed in another story, experiencing life that isn't mine, experiencing a life that, I guess I repeated that one, isn't mine. Getting lost in a good story. Adventure, be in another's place while I read. Go on an adventure, getting lost in an adventure and excitement, a world to get lost in. So I was kind of surprised that there were so many answers similar to that. And I think it kind of goes toward what I was talking about before, where people read because it's not just escapism, it's because they want a different experience. So I wanted to take some time to talk about the bigger picture with these books, because this is the first book. And then I've been saying again and again and again, I'm going to be writing 6 from August 1st to January 1st of 2021, one being released every single month. And some people I've interacted with, I think they misunderstood what I was meaning. So it sounded like I was saying this is going to be a 6-part series. But the idea of these books is that I have one single main character. And this main character is across multiple different stories. So if you pick up any of the books of the series, you can read the book and you can be like, oh, that's really cool. Let's grab another one. And it doesn't affect which one you read at whichever point. They're all individual. They're all separate. Because I can't help myself, I need to write it in a way so that if you do read them in order, it is a slightly different experience and things do connect together, but it isn't something so significant that you can't follow what's going on. And the idea for this is I actually have like 10 ideas for 10 different books, and they're all going to take on these little mysteries that happen, and they are all with that same individual character. So I'm not going to be doing 6. I'm going to be doing more than 6, but I'm going to be doing 6 over these 6 months, and I might be writing up to possibly 12 books, depending. And that would be a very nice number, I think. So when I started to look at different stories I wanted to tell, I went over other stories that I liked or other stories that affected me in some way. And most of the time it's an emotion that you get going through the specific stories. So when you watch Alien, you have, I think it's a xenomorph, correct? You have the xenomorph stalking Ellen Ripley through Alien, and that was a very interesting idea. I'm like, that'd be cool to implement at least that feeling or something like that into this type of story in a different world. Then you have something like the Bicentennial Man with Robin Williams, and I know that is a science fiction story, and I know that it's not horror at all, it's not mystery at all, but I like the idea, and it's weird enough that it kind of gets in your brain and it sticks there. I'm like, that'd be cool to implement that, or at least try to get people to feel that similar way. And then you have something like Watchmen, and you have the Mask of Rorschach, and it's always changing and morphing. And these are iconic things in some ways that people remember it, and it sticks in their brains, and it makes them feel a specific way. You have other movies like Rear Window, Cycle, and all the Twilight Zone stories that make you feel weird or make you feel strange or give you a different perspective on things. And so when I saw these things, I'm like, I really like these. And when I thought about writing a detective story, I was like, I want to implement these things into the story, but at the same time, I didn't think I could do it in one book. And I also like this idea, besides that, not being able to do this in one book, I also like this idea of having characters and then seeing characters grow. And you don't necessarily need to see the characters grow, but I think it's kind of a reward for going through the story and going through it in order, seeing how those characters change, seeing how they grow, seeing what happens to them throughout that story. So again, like I said before, you'll be able to read the books in any order. I would recommend reading them in the correct order, but you can read them in any order. So that is all I've got right now about the books. Right now, you've been waiting for this, is the cover reveal. So the book's name is A Cure for Death, A Cure for Death. And this is the cover. All right, so I'm revealing to you the cover right now. I'm actually putting it up on the screen via edits and stuff like that, but I think it's pretty awesome. I think that, I don't know, I think it's going to look really great. So I'm going to be sending out all the details, how the launch week is going to work. It'll be sent out sometime tomorrow afternoon. So keep your eyes open for that. It'll be sent out via email and across different social media channels. But again, if you want to make sure you get that email about when everything's going to be happening, sign up for my newsletter, danielpoppie.com/newsletter. And that's it.